Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. So, do me a favor before we get started. I need you to hit this like button. If you're not a subscriber, I need you to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you won't miss the episode. So, how are you? So, check me out on IG. My IG is elevation underscore mentor. So, we're going to talk about your credit score and how to raise your credit score today. So, I'm going to tell you some of the things that I'm doing. So my score is up 18 points. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm working on my credit score. So it is up 18 points. So why is credit important? First of all, why? So I used to didn't care about credit. So some of you that are watching me, you already have good credit scores. Some other people, you may be where I used to be, where I could care less about credit. And then some of you are working along with me to increase your credit score. So, why is credit important? Why? Why is credit important? Well, the credit score is a barrier to getting loans for real estate if you're interested in buying a rental property. They will use that score against you and say, no, you can't have a loan. So, that's one reason why a good credit score is important. Also, it's important because when your credit score is not good, you live a more expensive life. Everywhere you go, they are charging you more money in comparison to someone else who has a good credit score. For example, what you're paying for your car, you're paying more, you're paying a higher interest rate because of your credit score. And that's how the system works. The lower your credit score, the more money they're going to charge you. Also, they're going to deny you for loans when it comes to real estate. Also, you're going to pay a higher down payment just because of your credit score. So, those are some reasons for why credit is important. Denying you for loans. Some people get denied if you're looking for an apartment. Some people get denied apartments. That has never happened to me before, but I know that they can deny you for looking at your credit. So, those are some reasons. Barrier to loans, denying you for apartments if you're looking to rent, and then paying more money than everybody else just because of your credit score. You're paying more for that car, you're paying a higher interest on that car, and a higher down payment for a home just because of those 3-digit numbers on your credit report, your credit score. And so that is the why behind it. I do want to mention that there are ways around this credit thing. If you are, for example, a first time home buyer and you haven't bought your home yet, and that is going to a program called NACA, NACA. They help you get your home if you're a first time home buyer. Also, if you have not owned property in 3 years, they help you to get a home, and your credit score doesn't matter. They don't care what your credit score is when it comes to NACA, NACA. Their goal is to help you get into that home. And so NACA is a legit program. They claim this is their claim. Their claim is no down payment, no closing costs. All right. So I'm familiar with NACA and I know that they are a legit program. So that is the way around the credit score. If you're a first time home buyer looking to get in your home, or if you have not owned a home within 3 years, they don't care about your credit score. Other than that, they do care about your credit score. Of course, there are still ways around this credit score thing, um, such as seller financing, um, perhaps even hard money. But what I am going for is the DSCR loan. And the DSCR loan, that's all they care about is your credit score. The benefit of the DSCR loan is that they are basing this loan based on the value of the property instead of how much income you have. So they're not looking at your income, they're looking at the income that the property can generate. And so that is the benefit of the DSCR loan. They also don't care if you are employed. So that is another benefit. Um, but what they do care about is that credit score. So, how did I raise my credit score? By 18 points. 18 points. So, what I did was I looked at my credit cards and that debt to credit utilization. The number is 30%, right? This is what they say. The number is 30%. So, say for example, you have a $5,000 credit card. So, 30% of that means that you can't spend any more than $1,500 for this $5,000 credit card. Okay, that is a 30% utilization ratio rule that they use. But in reality, the lower you go, the higher your credit score. So the aim is less than 2%. That is the aim, right? But they caught me at 5%. So take this 5,000, 5%, your balance should not be more than $250. This is a 5%. So this is what they caught me at, 5%. So just by lowering the utilization on your credit to 5%, that is what increased the credit score by 18%. So the goal that I had was less than 2%. So the lower the goal, the better. My goal was less than 2%, and they caught me at 5%, which still ended up being good because it increased the credit score. So you have two different dates on your credit cards. You have the due date and the closing date. So the closing date is the date that they reported to the bureaus. They reported to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So whereas before I was waiting to the closing date to get here to pay it down to my goal of less than 2%, I learned to pay on it frequently because they say they're going to send it up at the closing date, but they might do it a day after the closing date, 2 days after the closing date, 3 days after the closing date. So when I called and I asked, they said that they send it out 4 days after the closing date for this particular credit card. However, um, what I figured out is by paying on it frequently and frequently keeping it low, whatever date they decide to send the info out, it will be a good report. So instead of just waiting, whereas before I would wait till I got close to the closing date and pay it down. But now I just pay on it frequently because it's hit or miss when it comes to that closing date. They told me 4 days after the closing date, but what if they do it on the closing date? Or what if they do it a day after the closing date? You see what I mean? So um, that's what I got out of this is just pay on it frequently and keep it low. And then still know what that closing date is. Like, what's the date? Is it the 20th? Is it the 15th? So I called and got the closing date for that credit card. And I know the date of the closing date. And that's pretty much to it. That's one portion of the credit. And that's making sure that your utilization is low. That's the difference between 18 points on your credit score. So why does that matter? Who cares about 18 points? Well, 18 points on your credit score when it comes to loans for real estate, it's a difference between a 30% down payment, a 20% down payment. Like it makes a huge difference in what your down payment is going to be. So that's why it is important. Also, another thing I did is I connected my checking account to Experian Boost. And so every time you pay a bill on time, is is boosting your credit. So connecting to Experian Boost, that's another thing that I did. Um, some things for renters, if you are currently a renter and you are planning to get a home and you would like to increase your credit score, there's some other things out here if that applies to you. One is called Boom. It's spelled BOOM. And this builds your credit because it records your rent payments. So every time you pay your rent on time is boosting your score. And so that's called Boom. It's BOOM. There's something else online is called Credit Rent Boost. And it's the same strategy. Every time that you pay your rent on time is boosting your credit score. And that's called Credit Rent Boost. But me personally, what I'm doing is Experian Boost and making sure that that credit utilization is low. I've discovered that that's a difference of 18 points on your score, which it doesn't seem like a lot. 18 points doesn't seem like a lot. But when it comes down to that down payment, it's a lot because they're basing it on what's your score? Your score is this, you're going to pay this down payment. If your score is better, you're going to pay a lower down payment. All right. So that is what I'd like to say about credit scores. If you're working on your credit score, or maybe you don't care about your credit score like I used to be. So, in addition to that, if anyone is watching me who is not in the stock market, maybe the stock market is foreign to you, or maybe you don't trust the stock market, check out my link below and join the waitlist for the investment club. This is very important to building wealth so that you do not have to be broke for the rest of your life. You don't have to be living paycheck to paycheck for the rest of your life. You are intentionally building wealth. So check out that link below and join the waitlist for the investment club. All right. So do me a favor on your way out. I need for you to hit this like button. If you're not a subscriber, I need for you to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. Also, check out the pin link below. You're going to see the word petitions. Click on that word petitions and sign it. You can sign it anonymously if you would like, but check it out because I would like you to see what is going on that the media is not paying any attention to, but it is clearly happening. It's happening right now, and it has absolutely zero media coverage. So check out that link and see what I'm talking about. You'll see the word petitions. Click on the word petitions and sign it. Signing it anonymously is fine. All right. So thank you for watching, everyone. And on your way out, don't forget, hit that like button. All right. Have a good rest of your day.